Hello student. Today we will do question part 5 of thermodynamics. So what are the questions that we're going to see? We are seeing questions from 33 to 40. So that consists total of 8 questions. So you will be given some time to solve each of this question. And after that time, I will just tell you the correct answer and then the explanation for that question. So be ready with your pen and notebook. Let us start the today's theory session. Okay. Disclaimer. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Question number 33. Question number 33 says that M2O solid is going to 2M solid plus half O2 gaseous. Delta H is 30 kilojoule per 30 kilojoule per mole and delta S is 0.07 kilojoule per Kelvin per mole at 1 atm pressure. The temperature up to which the reaction would not be spontaneous is, your options are A. Temperature is less than 400.08 Kelvin. B. Temperature is less than 273.15 Kelvin. C. Temperature is less than 428.57 Kelvin. And D. 470 temperature less than 473.50 Kelvin. So you have 10 seconds to solve this question. So before that, let me give you some hint. Okay. So it is said that your delta H and delta S is given. So you have to see that at what temperature your reaction will become non-spontaneous. So you will basically have to see the value of delta G. So if your delta G become positive, then you can say that okay, your reaction will become what? Non-spontaneous. So you are for that you have 10 seconds to solve this question. Your time starts now. Okay, now let us see the solution. So again, I'm repeating the question. So this is the equation that we are given. We are doing a reaction, and in that reaction, your entropy change and your enthalpy is being given. Enthalpy change is being given. Now the temperature up to which the reaction will be non-spontaneous means the reaction when will the reaction stop, or you would say that when will the reaction not require does not require external aid. We have to see that temperature. So for those who have solved, the correct answer is C. So as I have told you that for a process to be non-spontaneous, your delta G should be positive. Okay, so when your delta G become positive, your process become non-spontaneous, or if it is negative, then it will be spontaneous. We also know this formula that for a Gibbs-free energy tail, delta G is equals to delta H minus T delta S. So this formula we know it very well. Now if you put all these values, what will happen? So if you now as I've told you, for the process to be non-spontaneous, it should be positive. Okay, that is your this value should be positive overall. Or we can also say that delta H should be greater than T delta S. So I am writing it in this way that delta H minus T delta S should be greater than 0, or delta H should be greater than T delta S, which is possible if T is less than delta H by delta S. Okay, so we have just cross multiply. So you are using this inequality. So with this inequality starts in this way, that your delta H minus T delta S should be greater than 0. Now you bring the temperature condition with the help of this inequality, and that will give you T should be less than delta H by delta S. Next, we know that delta H value is given, so we multiply it by 10 to the power 3 to convert into from kilojoule to joule. Then delta S is given 70 joule per Kelvin per mole. Putting this value, we will get temperature value as T less than 428.57 Kelvin. So this will be your answer. Okay, so what is the key point for this question? Two key points are there. First, you should remember the formula. That is delta G is equals to delta H minus T delta H. Second thing you should remember that for the process to be non-spontaneous, delta G should be positive. And if you put this accordingly, this two concepts accordingly, you can easily solve this question. Okay. Now moving on to the next question for the question number 34. Question number 34 says that for the process H2O liquid going to H2O gaseous, the temperature is 100 degrees Celsius and the pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure. Now the correct choices options are A, delta S system greater than 0 and delta S surrounding is also greater than 0. B, delta S system is greater than 0 and delta S surrounding is less than 0. C, delta S system is less than 0 and delta S surrounding is greater than 0. Option D, delta S system is less than 0 and delta S surrounding is also less than 0. So what we have to see that for this process, what are the values of the given two variables, which are delta S system and delta surrounding. We have to see the entropy change. Okay, so the key point I would say for solving this question would be that delta S system is nothing but it is negative of delta S surrounding. Okay, that's simple. With the amount of entropy the system is gaining, that same amount of entropy the surrounding will lose. So this is totally based upon the heat concept, because the amount of heat the system loses, that is the amount of heat that surrounding gains. Now you have 10 seconds to solve this question. Your time starts now. Okay, so let us see how we can solve it. For those who have solved the question, well and good. For those who have not solved it, let us see how we can solve it, right? So first of all, the question is very clear. So we are doing a phase transition from H2O liquid to H2O gaseous, and we have to see that what is the criteria for the delta S system and delta S surrounding, means an entropy change for system and an entropy change for surrounding. For those who have solved the question, means those who have done it whole, the answer is B. Now the total entropy change for the universe is 0. Okay, so I have told you, right, that the entropy that is gained by the system is the entropy that is lost by the surrounding. So this is very obvious that delta S universe will be 0, because both are negative of each other, and delta S universe is equals to the summation of both of this. So delta S will be always 0. Now at 100 degrees Celsius, this thing is at equilibrium. This is the equilibrium that we know. Now for equilibrium, delta S total is 0. Overall entropy change will be what? 0 for equilibrium. Now this thing will be can be written that delta S total is what? Delta S system plus delta S surrounding. Clear? So this condition is obvious. Okay, from these two results we can easily say that. Now moving further, we have to see that what is the sign of delta S system or the delta surrounding, and then we can accordingly find for the other one. So as we know that we are going from liquid to gas. Okay, so the entropy of the system will increase because the gaseous molecules are in a much more random motion as compared to the liquid. So we can easily say that the entropy of the system will what? It will increase. Now the negative of that will be happening to the surrounding, so the entropy of the surrounding will decrease accordingly. So the same thing is written mathematically also here, that delta system is greater than 0 and your delta surrounding is less than 0. Therefore B is your correct choice. Okay, so very simple question. The thing you should always remember in this question, I would say that your delta S universe is equal to system plus surrounding, and during the phase transition from liquid to gas, the entropy change for the system will be what? It will be always positive. Okay, so this is the thing we can solve it. Now moving on to the next question. Question number 35. Question number 35 says that the correct expression among the following is, your options are A, delta G system by delta S total is equals to minus T. Okay, in isothermal process, W reversible. Okay, W reversible is equals to minus nRT ln V final by V initial. Option C, ln K is equals to delta H minus T delta S naught by RT. K is equals to, in option D, E to the power minus delta G naught by RT. So these are the four formulas. You have to see that out of this which is the incorrect expression. So you have 10 seconds to solve this question. Just remember all the formulas and it will be easily solved. This is just a formula based question. So this time will be enough to solve this question. So your time starts now. Okay, let us see how can we solve it. So very obvious question. Incorrect expression we have to find. So for this, the correct option is C. Let us see the expression one by one easily. Quickly. Delta G is equals to delta H minus T delta S. We know this. But for the system, the total entropy change that is given by delta S total, and delta H total will be 0. Okay, because the entropy that is lost by a system is an entropy that is gained by the surrounding. Therefore, an entropy change will be 0. Sorry, enthalpy change will be 0. Now we can say that delta S system is equals to minus T delta S total, right? So this formula is also very important, and this is the formula that help us to know that whether a reaction is spontaneous or not without looking into the surrounding, because delta S total is merely calculated using this delta G system. Okay, so this for this reason this formula is very important. Moving on further, we can say that delta G system is by delta S total is equals to minus T. So option A is correct. Moving on to the next option. Option B, we know that for a reversible isothermal process, since it is isothermal, your internal energy change is 0. As in internal energy change is given by QV or CV delta T. So since your delta T is 0, therefore your delta U is also 0. And for the first law of thermodynamics, we know that delta U equal to Q plus W, that is heat plus work. And W irreversible will be what? Will be equals to minus Q and will be the integration from V initial to V final with a negative sign and that integration is of PdV. Okay, so we have used this delta U to 0 and then we have find it. Okay, delta W is equals to minus Q. Therefore, W reversible is calculated in this way. So therefore, we can say that W is equals to minus Q is equals to minus integration of V final to V initial PdV. Clear? Okay. Now, we can also say this thing. So what we have done here, we have substituted nRT. With P, we have substituted nRT by V and then we have integrated dV by V to get this. So option B is correct in this way. Clear? Moving on to the next question. Sorry, next option. Option C, for option C, we know that delta G naught is equals to delta H naught minus T delta S and delta G naught is equals to minus RT ln K. Therefore, ln K is equals to what? Delta G naught by R minus RT. If you put delta G naught value here, this will give you this. And further, ln K can be written as minus of delta H naught plus T delta S by RT. So this is very simple relations. You just have to know some basic relations and you will be easily able to set up the whole relationship. So option C is incorrect. Okay, this is incorrect. Option D. In option D, it is we can again take the same formula. The minus delta G naught is equals to minus RT ln K, and ln K is equals to what? In this way, minus delta G naught by RT. If you take the negative logarithm, you will get K is equals to e to the power minus delta G naught by RT as your correct answer. So therefore, this option D is also correct. So option C will be the incorrect one because it has an extra negative sign with it. Now, moving on to the next question. Question number 36. Question number 36 says that the value of log 10 Kc for the reaction AB is given your delta H, that is the enthalpy change for the reaction at 298 Kelvin is minus 54.07 kilojoule per mole, and your entropy change at 298 Kelvin for the given reaction is 10 joule per Kelvin per mole, and the gas constant is well known. It is 8.314 in joule per Kelvin per mole, and this calculation is given. So if you multiply these three, you will get 5705. So options are A 5, B 10, C 95, and D 100. So very easy to solve. You have to find the log Kc. If you know the relation between delta G and K, which is delta G equal to minus an RT K, ln K, and the delta G and delta H and delta S. You put all of this, you will get your answer. So you have 10 seconds to solve this question. Just try to solve it as quickly as possible. So your 10 seconds starts now. Okay, let us see how can we solve it. So first of all, the question is very obvious. We have to find the value of log 10 kc, and all other values are given. But the thing you should remember that this is log 10 kc, okay, and not log e kc. So this is in terms of logarithm is in terms of what, 10. Now for those who have solved, the correct option is B. So I have told you, you must know the relation between these three. So we know it, delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S, and delta G naught is equal to minus 2.303 log 10 kc or minus RT ln K. We can write either of this. Now putting all of these values here, we can say this is the equation that we need to find the log 10 kc, and other than this all the values are known. So all of these values are given at 298 Kelvin, therefore the temperature is 298 Kelvin, and R value is 8.314. What is the value of delta G naught? So delta G naught will be minus 54.07 into 10 to the power 3, because this thing is given in kilojoule and it is given at 298 Kelvin. We don't have to worry about it. Then T value is what? 298 Kelvin, and delta S value is in joule per Kelvin per mole. So we put this thing as it is. Now solving it further and then solving it more further, we will get this thing. Now at last you have to find for log 10 kc, which will be 10. Okay. So in this way you will solve this question. So this is very simple. So you have to know two formulas. First of all, this relation, and second, the relation between this and this. If you know these two, that is your delta G is equals to delta H naught minus T delta S, and delta G naught is equals to minus 2.303 log 10 kc, then you will be easily able to solve it. Clear? So this is your question number 36. Moving on to the next question. Question number 37. Question number 37 says that for a spontaneous reaction, the delta G, that is your equilibrium constant, and your E naught cell will be respectively. Options are A negative, greater than 1, and negative. B is negative, less than 1, and negative. C is positive, greater than 1, and negative. And D, negative, greater than 1, and positive. So you have to find the value of delta G, K, and E naught cell. You have to see their signs. Okay. So this will be easily solved if you know two things. First of all, this for the spontaneous reaction, what is the value of delta G? So it is negative. And what is the relation between delta G and E naught cell? Okay. So this is from electrochemistry directly. So let us see how can we solve it. So this is the question. Now the correct answer is D. So we know that for the standard free energy chain related to equilibrium can be given as this. And the relation between delta G naught and E naught is delta G naught is equals to minus NFE naught. Clear? So if your process is spontaneous, means this value is negative. Okay, this value is negative. So if this value is negative, that means that this value is also negative and this value is also negative. Further, we can also say, since this is negative, so to keep all of this thing as negative, what should be there? Your K equilibrium should be always greater than 1, because if K equilibrium is greater than 1, then your log KQ will come positive, and multiplied by negative will give you a negative sign of the delta G naught. Whereas in this case, since your delta G naught should be negative, so your E naught should also be positive. Otherwise, if it is negative, then your negative multiplication will give you a positive value of delta G naught and your process will become non-spontaneous. And third thing is very obvious that for the process to be spontaneous, your delta G naught should be negative. So in this way, you can solve this question. Moving on to the next question. Question number 38. Question number 38 says that in a fuel cell, methanol is used as fuel and oxygen gas is used as oxidizer. The reaction is as follows. At 298 Kelvin, standard Gibbs energy for the formation of CH3OH, H2O liquid and CO2 gases are minus 166.2 kilojoule per mole, minus 273.2 kilojoule per mole, and minus 394 kilojoule per mole, respectively. So, if the standard enthalpy of combustion of methanol is given, the efficiency of fuel cell will be. So, your options are A 80, B 87, C 90, and D 97. So, you have 10 seconds to solve this question. Before that, let me give you a hint. So, Gibbs free energy for each of this is given. Okay, and an enthalpy change for the methanol is given. Means delta H for this reaction is also given in the way. So, you have to find the efficiency of the fuel. So, you have 10 seconds to solve this question. Your time starts now. Okay, let us see how can we solve it. So first of all, the question is already explained to you. So you have given Gibbs energy for the various species that we have, and you have to find the efficiency of the cell given that the enthalpy change for the combustion is this much. Now your correct answer is D. How will find the percentage efficiency? So it is simply delta G by delta H. So for that you have to calculate the delta G. So the conserved equation is this. Now you can use the formula, that is product minus reactant, to find the delta G value. Okay, so we can simply found it like this. So you have to multiply by coefficient, because this is a what? This is a extensive property. So you have to multiply each of this by the respective coefficient. Now that would give you this equation, and at last you will find the value as minus 702.6 kilojoule per mole. Okay, clear? And therefore your percentage efficiency will be 702.6 by 726 into 100. Clear? Okay. So in this way you will solve this question. So that will give you 97% approximately. Moving on to the next question. Question number 39. Question number 39. Direction. In the following equation, question assertion followed by a region is given. Choose the correct answer out of the following choices. Assertion A. Spontaneous process is an irreversible process and may only be reversed by some external agency. Reason. Decrease in enthalpy is a contributory factor for spontaneity. Options are A. Both assertion and reason are correct. Correct statement. And reason is a correct explanation of assertion. B. Both assertion and reason are correct. And correct statement. But reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. C. Assertion is correct but reason is wrong. D. Both assertion and reason are wrong. So you have 10 seconds to solve this question. Your time starts now. Let us see how can we solve it. So you are given two statements. First is that the spontaneity in an irreversible process may only be reversed by some external agency. And second is your contributory factor for spontaneity is decrease in enthalpy also. So this is very obvious. So for those who have solved, the correct answer is B. So spontaneous processes are accompanied by decrease in energy and increase in randomness. Right. So for that reason, what will happen? It can only be reversed by external agency. But this is not the correct explanation for this. Next, moving on to the next question. Question number 40. So question number 40 again, assertion reason type question. So in direction in the following question, assertion followed by a reason is given. Choose the correct answer out of the following choices. Assertion. The thermodynamic function which determines the spontaneity of a process is the free energy. For a process to be spontaneous, the change in free energy must be negative. Okay, we know that for a spontaneous process, delta G is negative, then and then only your overall process will be spontaneous. Reason is that the change in free energy is related to the change in enthalpy and change in entropy, and the change in entropy for a process must be always positive if it is spontaneous. And this also thing we know that for a overall system, overall delta S total should be greater than zero for the process to be spontaneous. So there is a relation between these two, and this thing is very obvious for the spontaneity. So your options are both assertion reason are true and reason is a correct explanation of assertion. B, both reason and assertion are true and reason is not the correct explanation for assertion. C, assertion is true, reason is false. And D, both are false. So you have 10 seconds to solve this question. Your time starts now. Okay, let us see how can we solve it. So question was already explained to you. Uh, so the correct answer would be A, because we know that delta G system is equals to minus T delta S total. So if your delta H is known, your delta S is known, then you can easily contribute and find that what is the value of delta G, and if it is negative, then your system will be, or your process will be spontaneous. Okay. So this was for today's question session. Thank you.